we're gonna be going to environmental pollutants. Okay, so here in Phil, you can see them everywhere. You know, the garbages left and right. You know,
the waterways,
waterways, the burning of the fields. You know, and these are important
Smoky
aspects.
Mountain.
Okay,
like Smoky Mountain.
Smoky Mountain, yeah, the plastics, you know, you just throw them everywhere, and you do not know that this has actually a great impact. It has a great impact on our health in the community, and personally, you know, to yourself and to your child as well. So you don't think that it doesn't have any impact, but it does. It really does affect.
That's why, you know, so many of these things are pollutants, but then we have the persistent organic pollutants, the things that do not break down, you know, within the soil, that bioaccumulate in our bodies.
Well, the most common environmental pollutants that I will be tackling today is primarily cadmium, mercury, and lead. Okay, so we're gonna go to cadmium first. Now, cadmium, it's typically found if you're smoking, in the tobacco. It's also found as an anti-corrosive agent in your appliances. Now, the bad thing about cadmium, and this was a history lesson, okay? This happened in Japan, where they were miners they were mining zinc, okay, and smelters. And what happened was that.
By the way, guys, this is a reaction video with Dr. Farrah, and Dr. Farrah is a Filipino doctor, medical, and she is licensed doctor, and she is advising people to use more organic, more, you know, plants and this kind of stuff. So I'm here now telling you that I watched her live video, and then I wanted to share about this to her viewers as well, so that people who missed her video, they can rewatch it again. So let's continue watching.
The waste, it went to a river, and that river was irrigating most of the crops. And the Japanese people were eating eating the crops, and they were drinking the water as well. And this happened for a matter of 5 years to 20 years. So this happened for 5 to 20 years. Imagine 5 to 20 years. So they were eating all of the crops for this period of time. And okay. Thank you, Sir Jack. So they were eating that for 5 to 20 years. And then suddenly, all the older people, men and women, 200 of them, they were experiencing pain. Okay? Pain in the spine area, in the joints. And actually, they call it itay-itay. Itay-itay means ouch, ouch. Okay? And then when they studied, the Japanese people studied the economics of it, and then they found was the leading cause of the itay-itay. So they tried changing it, they tried removing that waste. So the cadmium, again, it's one of the more important causes of lung cancer. Okay, so not only itay-itay disease, which means ouch of low network connection. Am I still there? Yeah. I'm sorry because I have... Yeah. Please say hello po. Okay.
You're okay now.
Yeah. Sir Jack said.
Oh, it's herky-jerky.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. So, it can also cause hypertension. Okay, there were research that linked cadmium to hypertension. Another environmental polluter is mercury. Okay, di ba? Mercury, usually we see that in fishes. And the thing with mercury in Minamata Bay, so the Minamata Bay, it was contaminated with mercury. And what happened was, the Japanese people, especially the pregnant women who were eating those clams, those shells, those fishes, okay, they developed, their infants, their young unborn infants, developed small brains. So their brains got smaller. And when that happened, they became imbecile for the rest of their life. So again, the Japanese people, the Japanese government looked at it, and they saw that it was actually the mercury, methyl mercury, that was the cause of microcephaly, or for them to have mental retardation. Okay, so you have to be aware of that. Now, mercury, you see them in thermometer, but I don't think they're using thermometers right now with mercury. But when I was in med school, we were still using the ones with the blood pressure with mercury on them. So, but it's now, I think no one's using it right now. Also in dental practices, I think in field they're still using it. I don't know about here in the US. What do you think, honey?
Amalgam, dental amalgam with mercury?
Yeah, with mercury.
Tough to say.
Yeah, so, but you have to be aware of that, okay? Because mercury, it's also a pollutant, okay, in the environment. And again, it can cause mental retardation.
Thing is, if it's dangerous in fish, how is it safe in a tooth filling?
Yes, exactly. So we have to think about that. Next is lead. Okay, another environmental pollutant is lead. Now lead, if you look at them in the periodic table, it has a sign that is like PB. So it means plum boom. Okay, now the history of that was that the Roman Empire, okay, so they lined their pipes with
casks.
with lead. And then also their vessels. So they're prone to drinking. They love to drink. So they lined their vessels with lead. Now the problem was when the lead combined with the wine, it had that sweet taste. So the thing was, these Roman empires, they got really excited about that. So they started drinking it, But the problem was they developed Alzheimer's. So that's also one of the reasons that contributed to the demise of the Roman Empire.
It wasn't called Alzheimer's back then, though.
Yeah, it wasn't called. Probably it was a different name back
I think it was called old timers
Old timer.
back then.
Okay, so here right now, as of today, in modern society, how do we use lead? How do we use lead, honey?
It's often been used for soldering of pipes.
Okay, and you can also use it. The most popular is in gas. Yeah, diba? Leaded gas. And now after that, there was an unleaded gasoline. Okay. Now the thing was with this lead, 2/3 of which is actually disposed of into the environment through the exhaust pipe. So imagine if you live in a place near the highway. So all of those grasses that are growing there, they're actually toxic for animals to eat.
They have lead dust.
There was an incident in England, if I remember, and here also in the US, where most of the cows that fed on these grasses that were exposed to lead, they died. So imagine, and then you're breathing that in, especially there in Phil, right? Because it's just too congested in Manila, di ba? Also in paint, Ate said, in paint, and our children are chomping on lead, and then it can cause mental retardation. There was a research about it, and they looked at the IQ of those children, and those children that chomped on the lead, the toys with lead on them, their IQ went very, very low. Mm-hmm.
Is that why my mom used to give me lead toy soldiers to play with?
Probably Sir Jack.
I think I've consumed a lot.
Has been eating a lot of
lead.
Toys. Okay, toys with lead on them. So it's very important. These are the environmental pollutants that you should be aware of. Now in the household, in your house, what are the most common environmental pollutants in your house? Benzene, formaldehyde. Okay, formaldehyde. How did we had formaldehyde in our house? I think it's because in the ones that they're using right now, the furniture, yeah. Sir Jack can explain it to you better. The ones that they use for the pressing of the board, because what they do is with the furnitures right now, they're not solid wood. They're actually like dust. Particle board. That's what Sir Jack said. And they use formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde is part of the binding agents.
As a form of a binding agent. So the formaldehyde. So imagine, and then when it's too hot, guess what happens to formaldehyde? It evaporates.
Into your home.
Okay. Now, benzene toluene. How did we get benzene and toluene? It's in your paint. In the paint in your house. And guess what? It can cause, in research and in experimentation, it can cause leukemia. Leukemia and liver cancer. And they're all over your house. Can you imagine that? Then how can you take care of that? That's why Dr. Farrah has a lot of plants. You can see my plants. So I have
Some plant
plants
starters
here.
back here.
Yeah, so plants can get all of those environmental pollutants. Okay, that's why Jehovah is a good God, because He knows that we as humans, we are exposed to a lot of environmental pollutants. So He created plants, and the plants will absorb them for us. Okay, I remember when I was in Phil, because we had this farm, and I was concerned about arsenic, because arsenic is the one that they use for the pesticides. So, and I was very concerned about that. So what I did was that I just planted picara. So for you, Dress, SP said scary info doc. All these poisons are in our house. Yeah. So picara. So picara is the one that I have been using to suck all of the poisons in my soil. And after that, you can just burn them, okay, or just do another. We call it green manuring. So green manuring is that you get all of the greens and then you put it back in the soil. So that's what green manuring is. So those are just one of the more common environmental pollutants. Again, these environmental pollutants, it's a cycle, okay? You think that's the end of it, okay? It's actually a cycle. So what happens is that when we burn something, for example, the coal, or we burn something, so it goes as a smoke, right? And guess what happens to those smoke? It doesn't evaporate. It comes down. It comes down in the form of rain or snow. And it goes back to the soil. It goes back to the soil. And this soil, okay, the plants will eat them. Not the plants will eat them, but the plants will absorb them, these minerals, whatever it is in the soil, and then the animals will eat it, and in turn we will eat it. That's why it's called accumulative, okay? You accumulate it in due time. That's why you became sick after how many years? 10 years, 20 years, or 50 years, Now, poisoning, it's different, okay? Poisoning is different. Poisoning is acute, okay? For example, you drank a
bottle of aspirin.
Yeah, a bottle of aspirin. That's poisoning. Or a bottle of paint. Okay, that's poisoning. Now, this one, it's called chronic. It means for a long, long period of time, accumulation. Okay, and in the end, you will become sick. Like 40, 30, 50 years from that, you will become sick. Okay.
Elvira Guevara Gasso said, "What is the best meds for forgetfulness?" I'm trying to remember.
I will answer all of that later, okay? So that's why we have to be careful. If you are sick now, what is the implication of this? If you are sick, okay, and you're doing everything, you change your diet, you're taking a lot of minerals, you have to consider your environment as well. Are you living in a place where it's congested? Are you living in a house that has full of pollutants or full of
Chemicals?
You have to consider this as well. And if you are, it's better to move to a place where it's fresh. Okay? And now for all of the moms who are concerned about environmental pollutants in the house, the best thing is to plant. Plant inside your house. Like here, I have a lot of pothos. Yeah. So this rubbers, okay, plants. And these are very important for you to know because this can help. This can help with the health, to restore the health of your family. Okay? So that's it for the environmental pollutants. I hope you learned a lot.